Hello, I'm James, and I'm an old guy in Europe. Hello and welcome to another episode of An Old Guy in Europe. Last week in episode 40 I talked about making my move to Espinho, Portugal. This week on the Good Morning Portugal Show from my new home in Espinho, I share with Carl about settling in and how my first 4 days here have been. So please sit back, relax and enjoy.
Let's play his theme tune, shall we, and see how he's getting on in his new place. I don't see the not cowboy hat anywhere. Yes, I do. Thank you very much for that. Let's chat with James after this. There it is.
Bom dia!
Bom dia, tudo bem? How's the Casa Novo?
No place to hang it behind me in this spot, which is for lighting the best spot I've got. So
Yes, it is. Looks like you've got some beautiful morning lights bathing your face, James. How good it is to see it.
Thank you. Yes, it's great to be here. And there, all at once.
Very easy, it would appear. You have got natural light. You would appear to have electricity, and you've got internet. That seems pretty seamless. How's it going in the new house?
Thanks to the help of Portugal Door.
Really? So, Vito helped me out over the weekend when I lost my electricity. So he's been great all the way, as he has made sure all of that was taken care of.
Yes, indeed. Everything was up and running when I got here. Now it's just working out the new routines. Where do I move? Where do I go to do this? It's all brand new, and it's a little bit disorienting at first, obviously. But I'm almost all of my little bit of stuff is found a place. I put it in place somewhere, and I'm getting I guess both my physical pathways and my neuronal pathways rewired to my new environment. But it's great. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Oh, excellent. And so it sounds like you've been making memories, as it were, and establishing your routines. I recall talking to you about the local cafe. And before, it was a little bit difficult, wasn't it, to walk from home into town? It took a little bit more effort than you're getting used to now.
Yeah, only 4.5 kilometers.
4.5 walk to the cafe.
Yes.
And what is it now for you in the mornings?
Takes me about 5 minutes.
Oh, nice. And have you found your local and favorite cafe yet?
Well, whenever I move somewhere new, it's my favorite for now, and sometimes it stays that way. One of the places, it's called, interesting name, Doobop or something like that. With it's a very sort of modern line drawing of some guy playing a saxophone. It's Doobop. It's like,
oh, right. Okay.
An interesting name for a place in Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And two reasons that I liked it. I was drawn to it because it's actually on the sand on the beach. The side facing the ocean is all floor to ceiling glass. So you can basically be sitting at the beach having a coffee without, if it's inclement weather, you don't have to get wet, as we're talking about today. So that was the primary thing that drew me to it. But then when I was visiting one weekend, I was out walking early, as I do, which means, by about 8 o'clock, typically when I'm up and moving about in the world. And my experience previous has been nothing is open for coffee at 8 in the morning. It's like nothing opens till 9 or 9:30. It's like, but I want my coffee at 8, please.
Yeah.
And this particular restaurant opened at 8. So in addition, I was able to get my coffee at the time I wanted it at this beautiful spot. I went there on my first morning here and was, a little disappointed that they had changed the hours to 9. So
I'm sorry to laugh.
oh man.
Yeah, your morning routine was
Yes.
broken.
Spoiled on my first day.
Yes. Wow. That is an interesting thing, and others may comment on this, James, because I think in any given town, there's usually one place that does open early and takes advantage of that early, maybe people who are going to work or coming home from work or whatever. I think and generally speaking, the culture is that places open late and stay open late. However, there's normally one, isn't there, that's open for tradespeople or people who are catching buses and trains or whatever early in the morning. But have you found it yet? Have you found an 8 o'clock joint yet?
Well, initially it was this place, and I talked with the owner on that first, not my first morning here, but on that morning that they were open at 8, and she said exactly that the reason they opened at 8 is because no one else was, and they wanted to be available to people who wanted it. Well, I was there at 9 and the place was empty except for me. So, the Portuguese are not generally up and out and getting their coffee out at not even 9 in the morning. Maybe 10 is when things start to pick up. So to have the place open, to have everything set up, to either pay an employee or be there yourself and put your time in to sit and just have no customers doesn't make sense. So I get it. They're not going to open at 8 because I happen to show up a few times a week at that time. I might be able to arrange a specific.
Couldn't you? If you can guarantee an amount of business, they might open.
On Wednesday mornings, could you open at 8 and I'll be sure and be here every Wednesday morning.
Yeah. We're getting different information about this here. Apparently, where Mel lives, all the coffee shops open in my little town at 7. It might be something to do with workers, mightn't it? And in Alcobaça, most places here open.
Well, I'm going to have to move to those places then.
Going to move again, right? Okay,
coffee.
Get Vitor on the phone. Thank you, Nuno. Muitos parabéns for our 5-year.
Obrigado, Nuno.
Thank you, Nuno. So it sounds like that's still hanging in the balance then, whether or not you'll be able to get your morning coffee. Oh, and you've made one yourself anyway.
Yes, well, which I typically do. Well, obviously, well, maybe not obviously. I'm not willing to walk 4.5 kilometers or kilometers, however we want to say that in Portugal, to get a coffee. I can make it right here in my apartment. So, that's what I do most of the time. There is apparently one place that's, because I remember hearing about it on this show, how they get around apparently some law that says you can't be open 24 hours a day. So they have 2 clocks, and one says midnight and the other one says, 11:59 or whatever it is. But apparently there is a place, it's, everything is relatively close. It's probably about a 10-minute walk from where I am, where they have an expat meetup every Monday morning. I discovered as I was looking for places to rent.
Right.
And that place is open from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m.
Very good.
I guess they're open 24 hours a day. So
isn't it? I don't remember that. But that is an interesting bit of information. And it might be because we're on the coast.
Reason was, but I wasn't surprised when I saw the hours, as I would have been if I hadn't had the information about that.
Yes.
Why don't they just go, 24 hours or 12 to 12?
It's not allowed. It's not allowed. It might be because we're in touristy places, James, on the coast. Things are a little bit sleepier than working towns. We're being cast as somewhat leisurely and white collar possibly here compared to the working towns where people.
I don't know. Espinho is a working town as well. There's a lot of folks working things that are not touristic oriented in Espinho.
It's Monday as well, isn't it? It's the big day in Espinho. Those poor market traders will be setting up in this weather. It's the big day, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm planning on going to that. There's still a few things I need to pick up for my space that I found I was lacking. So I wanted to check out the market because they have pretty much everything.
They do, don't they? Yeah. So it's not a great day to be a market trader, but so, hopefully they're not too soggy and you'll get what you need. How far is that from you?
Well, I am at the northern end of Espinho, and the length of Espinho runs north and south. The width runs east and west, and it's narrower. So it's like a big rectangle.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything is pretty much 5-minute walking distance to the train station, which is right smack in the middle.
Cool.
So where I am, it's probably closer to 10 minutes to walk to the train station. So it'd be another 10 minutes to get to the southern end. So 20 minutes to walk the entire length of Espinho. And then, probably 10 or 15 minutes to walk the entire width of Espinho. So everything is relatively close to the center.
Nice. Yeah, good.
But they don't have a typical city center praça. It's because it's all laid out on this sort of modern perpendicular rectangular grid.
Yeah.
They have I think kind of a central mall, an outdoor mall, a long street with shops on either side. Certain areas for gathering. They've got a huge entertainment auditorium theater place where they do all kinds of events. I think indoor sporting events as well as movies, as well as concerts. They've got parks, all those things, but they're not in a particular central area that I've seen so far. Mm-hmm. But I'll be doing more exploring, and
good.
It's great to have everything within walking distance. I walked to the one of the 3 supermarkets that I believe is closest to me, which is Continente, and it took me less than 10 minutes to walk there. So
a good pick. If anyone's thinking about where they should live in Portugal and they want everything within this kind of 15-minute city vibe, Espinho would work well with good facilities, amenities, and
transportation. I mean, the train is right smack in the middle of town. It's less than 10 minutes to walk to the train to go to anywhere in Portugal I want to go on a train.
Very good. And is it presumably quite flat as well?
Yes, especially north to south. It's along a beach, and it's one of the few places on the Portugal coast where the ocean isn't abutted by huge cliffs, which is what makes Ericeira so beautiful and so aesthetically pleasing, is you're always up above the ocean. You can see for, miles and miles, that kind of thing is just beautiful. It's aesthetically, my heart always just goes, oh, Ericeira is so beautiful. And I was down walking along the ocean yesterday, and it reminded me more, as I was thinking about it, more of Southern California beaches, the ones I was used to when I lived down there. It's flat and long and lots of sand, just on and on and on. I mean, you can practically walk to Porto on the beach from here. So it's beautiful in that way, but it doesn't have that same sort of varied nature aesthetic to it. It's basically beach and sand.
And your connection to Porto is the metro or a train?
Well, it's kind of a hybrid. I don't know what they call it. It's not intra-city trains that run from, pretty much from the airport, I think. That's probably metro, but at least from Campanhã to Aveiro, which is south of here by about another 20. And Porto is about 30 minutes north by train, and Aveiro is about 30 minutes south by train. So, but it's on the Porto transportation system. I just call it the yellow train because it's kind of like a bus on the inside, but it's a train on a railroad track. So, and it's not electric like the metro usually is.
Well, do you know what?
No, it is. It is electric, but.
Well, Portugal does this to confuse people because now there's a tram that's actually a bus in Miranda de Curva as well. So I think when it comes to public transport, they do mess with our minds. Comments coming in, James. We celebrated 10 years in Portugal yesterday by going to a peaceful Lumbini. Is that your description of it, or is that the name of the restaurant? A capital P, I'm thinking maybe that's the name of the restaurant, Peaceful Lumbini, a lovely Nepali restaurant in Alcobaça. I highly recommend it if you're in the area. That's good to know.
Like a name looks like a name to me. She's got to capitalize and then
Yeah, Peaceful Lumbini. Sounds like a person as well, doesn't it? A gangster even.
Yeah.
A gangster who brought peace to the community in Chicago or something like
As
that.
opposed to that murderous Lumbini.
Exactly, his brother, his nasty brother. The market here brings their own cafe with them. Well, there's an option for you, James. Start your own cafe. That could be coffee and counselling. When I started to watch your channel, Mr. S said, I remember Gilda and James together on the show. Do you remember those days, James?
I do.
What was I watching? A lot of people used to ask that. What am I watching? It mostly had to do with immigration to Portugal, if memory serves me well. She's going to be on the show tomorrow, I hope. Joining us, returning back to be with us in this special week, celebrating 5 years. James, by buying an early morning coffee, you're helping people live their dream early morning coffee shop that in turn helps delivery services, that helps industries produce coffee. Absolutely part of a chain, right? So keep buying local and from small shops and businesses. We will keep doing that here in Portugal. Thank you for that reminder, Deagle. Have Hank and Connie or Conk and Honey been yet?
Not yet. I mean, I've only been here. I got
days.
here Thursday night.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I've only been here a few days. I told them, Hank contacted me, say, you all settled in. I said, well, not settled. I'm getting sorted. I expect I'll be more settled in a week. And they want to come down. I want to at least have all my electronic attachments off my couch and into a proper cupboard somewhere.
Yes, closeted. Now, how does an introvert have a housewarming?
One person at a time.
Okay, excellent. It could take years. Okay. Villamora offers beaches.
Well, you see, introverts only have 5 friends, so it doesn't take that long.
It shouldn't take long. Villamora offers beaches and pleasures.
At least 5 friends they would have to a housewarming.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Villamora, another recommendation on that same basis. You've moved almost the same distance. It's the Barrow is kicking in. One side of us to the other, interestingly. Yeah, Andela also moved just recently and enjoying having a little nosy round the Beira. Small world, says Joao Ernesto. My best friend in the States told me his fraternity brother, James, and best man at his wedding just moved to Porto. Isn't that amazing? Okay. And Raj's Indian family in Portugal. Good morning, GMP. It's a rainy Algarve. Going back to Joao Ernesto's mate James and his wife came up to visit Ponte Lima with a couple who were friends with his wife. Turns out that couple are good friends of ours too. Incredible. 5 years is a wonderful milestone. Yeah, it is a small world, isn't it? Especially in our kind of circles, I think, as well. 5 years is a wonderful milestone. Parabéns. Muito obrigado. Come here. See you later. Love you. Have a great day. Thank you very much, Gav. I think that's an invitation for us to go visit the UK. Busy this week. Carl, thank you for all the lovely informative shows you've been producing. We hope to have many more to come. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Gemini. Thank you to you. I meant, was it Expats Portugal or Good Morning Portugal? It was when we were all one and the same in them days, Mr. S. Good morning and happy birthday. And of course, if you want to catch me with Expats Portugal, that's on a Thursday evening with the webinar at 7:30 in the town hall at 9. So, James, what surprises have there been for you in making your move? You sounds like you're going to the market to get a few things that may have been forgotten or mislaid. What are some of the surprises of moving?
I'm chuckling because I've moved so many times in my life. There's very few surprises left about moving.
Right.
I knew, even though I was certain I had 100% of all my stuff from Ericeira, that there would be something, at least one thing left behind. And there were 2 or 3, not, super important items, but it's like a little adapter in the socket in the wall that I forgot to pull out and bring with me. My only, I have a sports jacket and slacks for the formal things I need to go to, which have been 0 in 3.5 years, that Louisa moved out to what she calls Narnia, because it's a kind of a shed out in the backyard that she puts, clothing and other things, because it doesn't get it gets aired out more, so things don't get mildewy. So she moved that in there, and then
that's saying something, isn't it?
I forgot because I never even looked at it for 3.5 years. Oh, I left that. So, and that's not really a surprise. It's like, yeah, of course, I had like 3 fairly insignificant but useful things, like my ear pods. So I didn't have that kit for today. But
you left those behind, did you?
Yeah, they were just hanging on the side of my desk. I had a little hook
right,
where I just had them hanging, so when I used them, I could just pull them up and plug them in. And I didn't happen to look at the side of my desk and say, did I leave anything hanging on the side of my desk before I moved?
Oh, okay, wow.
Those kinds of things that you just sort of miss.
Yes.
And the really fortuitous thing for me, not so much for Louisa, is that her son is moving to Espinho, I think this week. So he'll just bring that stuff up with him.
You'll get your stuff.
Is a 10-minute drive from here. So so he can drop off those few things and I'll have 100%.
There you go. And is there a special little possession that you've kept with you throughout all of your moves? Is it the Not Cowboy hat?
Well, that's certainly gone with me. I think probably, at least since I've been in Portugal, this special little thing that I got actually at the Espinho market when I visited.
Earlier visit.
It's my little.
Oh, your little cockerel! Fantastic, excellent.
I've got him in the center of my dining table, which is serving as my desk as well.
Very good. Very good. A little bit of culture. And a final question, James. Portuguese-wise, are you able to practice it more than when you live with that family, James? How's it going to be for your Portuguese?
Well, just to be clear, I was always able to practice as much as I wanted. But I get the point. The point is it's easy to be lazy and it's easy to default to the language you're already familiar with and can speak quite well. Yeah. It's much more difficult to try and formulate language that you're unfamiliar with. So given all that, I did speak more English in Ericeira. I'm expecting I will be speaking more Portuguese here. But I've only had a couple of very brief opportunities in that. So far in the few days I've been here, I've gone to Continente, I've walked on my own along the beach, and I've gone to the coffee shop or the restaurant where I did the self-checkout at Continente because I said, oh, well, this will be easier than there's something I was trying to work out about it. And I said, this will be easier, I can just do it myself. And then, of course, I got confused because there's a very particular way you have to do it, and you really are screwed, aren't you? If you think I loaded up my pack and then it wasn't room, so I took it off and I started, and it's turned off. It said, you can't go further. And I said, okay, well, initiate. And then it said, what's your number? And I go, oh, I don't have a number. Yeah, that's right. And then the help. So then I had to go ask for help, which was fine. I know how to do that. But yeah, so. Excellent. And it's not my intention to avoid speaking a language. It was one of the appeals to me of Ericeira is that there is generally less English speaking going on around me. And what English so far that I have heard has been probably A2, B1 level English, right? So, enough to get by, but not fluent in any way, so we can communicate between my mangled Portuguese and their struggle with English, and then putting it together with sign language, we're able to work it out. But that was typically me. Long story saying I'm looking forward to the opportunity to learn Portuguese faster by using it more. Yep, and you might even pick up on this well-being tip. If moving to a new town, start afresh, tell everyone that you only want to speak Portuguese, and obviously in Portuguese. Set the precedent, which I'm sure you'll be doing something along those lines. OLP, it's Espinho. I've put the link to the Wikipedia listing for Espinho. That's where James has moved to answer your earlier question. And are you taking the Portuguese citizenship test? No, OLP. Because I haven't got 8 years to put by to go through that process. It might do one day. I might get around to it, so to speak, like one of those little desk objects, the round to it. Thank you very much for your well-being tip. I still have an old stuffed bear missing one eye that I have a picture of with me in my crib. Is that what you've taken with you on every move, João de Norte? That has helped me with my Portuguese so much, says Mel. All in the cafe help me and laugh along. Isn't it lovely when all the Portuguese people are laughing at you and with you? Not just at you, but with you as well. James, got to move on. Got to speak to Ben Austin and Gary Austin this morning. But we wish you the absolute very best in your new home. So lots of love to you. Yeah. All good things to you in your new place, my friend. Well, from this point forward, at least for a while, it will be a lot of this, a lot of sharing my experience in Espinho.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. See you again next week, and have a great first week then, my friend.
Thanks, my pleasure always. Bye-bye.
All right, ciao, ciao. There he goes. Wishing him all the best in Espinho. Let's keep the...